Welcome to Just the Guys Podcast.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. Tonight it's me and CT. They left us alone with the keys. They might regret it later, but I'm going to enjoy this because now I can do this to you and not feel bad.
Yeah. How did it feel? Felt good.
It felt.
I used to see how I feel when I drop people into put them
Yeah, it feels powerful.
Yeah. Isn't the intro supposed to be longer than that? Okay.
That's just what it is.
Salute to everybody in the chat. Positivity's coming your way, guys. If you are on my channel, I'm streaming from Just the Guys. In about 15 minutes, we're going to. I'm going to ask that you guys come over to Just the Guys podcast. Salute, Gimpy, man.
Go ahead, buddy. Man. So hopefully Cisco will show up tonight since it is his topic anyhow, from what I understand. But tonight we're here to talk about what Black country would you live in? Since CT is so pro mommy Africa all the time.
Am I?
I don't know, man. Your love of South Africa and what's his face? Never remember his name when I need it. Your boy in Traore, Abraham Traore.
Oh, in Burkina Faso. Yeah.
I mean, so tonight we are going to talk about what Black country would you live in, and you got to choose. So let's get into it. I mean, I wouldn't live anywhere in Africa, but because I have to choose, I picked Zambia. It rolls off.
Zambia has Victoria Falls. I'm not too familiar with the Zambian government. I know that if I'm not mistaken, it was a British colony. If I'm not mistaken, right? Was it a British colony?
Yeah,
it was a British colony.
Yeah.
And when did Zambia obtain their independence?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's check that out.
Let's see. Zambia, you got Victoria Falls, beautiful. It's a beautiful place, beautiful wildlife. It was formerly known as Northern Rhodesia, a British protectorate under the British Empire. Okay. Let me see. They got their independence, or they received their independence in 1964. The colonial figure associated with Rhodesia was Cecil Rhodes. Rhodesia used to be a very beautiful country under colonialism. I saw a lot of
things beautiful under colonialism. I'm sorry.
You said what?
A lot of things were beautiful under colonialism, man.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what it is, Gibby. It just sounds real low for some reason. I don't know what it is today. Yeah. You said a lot of things were beautiful under colonialism.
Yes, they were.
And why do you believe that? Why do you believe that?
Oh, dude, because they kept their colonies up for the benefit of making the money, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, right? When you conquer it, I mean, other than the populations got screwed, but the places were gems of the empires and different empires. But before we get going, some housekeeping. Everybody here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, this Metro Conservative Media channel. We have a bunch of channels. We got this, Just the Guys, Pop and Politics, and KJ Christian Conservative. Check them all out. Subscribe to them all. And then you got CT's bum ass channel. All right,
I'm out.
Feels so good to just be able to press a button and throw your ass in the back.
Gimpy, do me a favor. Let's do it like this, right? Because we need a show. You say your number one is Zambia. Let's go from your top 5, right? It's a lot of countries in Africa.
Well, I can tell you top 5 I would never live.
Okay, go ahead.
I would never live in Congo.
What's wrong with Congo?
Dude, those places are running war games.
We're talking about the DRC, right?
Yeah,
you know, it's two Congos.
Literally, they have conflict break out every other minute in that country.
Yeah.
Then I would never want to live in Rwanda. I'd never want to live in Egypt. Libya, not Libya. Libya, and at this point, I wouldn't want to live there. Most of Northern Africa probably would be, man, like that, dude. I could never live in that. Like, it's a beautiful place. I go on vacation,
By the
sure.
way, did you know Spain has I think two cities in Northern Africa?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't. I didn't even know that until recently. Like Spain has two cities. Like it's actually these cities are Spanish cities. This is Spain. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, would you live there?
Probably not.
Okay.
I mean, it'd still be nice to check out. I'd go visit all these places just to see them, but I would never want to live in any of these nightmares.
Really?
No,
you never been to Africa. How would you know anything about Africa? It could all just be
propaganda. First of all, I have family in South Africa before the end of apartheid.
Oh yeah,
I still have family in South Africa. If I'm being honest.
Okay.
It's just getting smaller.
And what's wrong with South Africa?
It's not calm.
How do you know?
It seems calm, but it's not. Because my family talks about it, dude.
Then why are they still there?
Because that's where their money is.
What if they're tricking you?
I mean, it could be.
Yeah.
I got invested in it.
Yeah, what if they're tricking you? And what if a lot of it is just technology to keep people away?
I mean, that's very cynical belief to think my cousins would just be lying to me for the sake of lying to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's possible, man. I've known people to be a part of organizations or be affiliated with certain things, and they don't want a lot of people to know about how great something is, and they just lie. Oh man, you don't want to be a part of that. Like when I was a kid, man, I had to be like 19 or 20. I was at a bar. Go figure, right? 19 or 20 at a bar. I was in Portage County. I'm not going to name the city, but you can take a guess. I met this white guy, older white guy. He had to be maybe 55, 60. And he was talking about window cleaning. And he was saying that window cleaners make 150, sometimes 200 a year. And I was like, oh man, damn, I should drop out of college and become a window cleaner. He said, oh man, don't do that, man. It's too much risk. It's too much this. You don't want to be a window cleaner.
You're still not a window cleaner.
So what?
That out. At the end of the day, you're still not a window cleaner.
Because he was discouraging me because there's a lot of money.
Because dude, you're not hanging off the side of a building.
I would.
You would have.
I would have.
You could probably sell tickets to you cleaning windows at this point.
Yeah. Hey guys, if you're in my chat, please come over to Just the Guys podcast in about 8 minutes. I'm gonna end it on my chat and then our channel, and then you can come over. Let me do something real quick. Number 5, Burkina Faso. Right? Burkina Faso, you have the capital, Ouagadougou. You have heavy investment in the automobile industry. Ibrahim Traore, he's a young politician, young president. He's making impressive. He's not a warlord. You got to stop watching Congo. You got to stop watching Hotel Rwanda. You got to stop watching. What's another? You got to stop watching Beast of No Nation. He's not a warlord. Yeah, the news. He's not a warlord. But he's backed by Russia.
Other warlord.
Other
warlord.
You think
Putin
is a warlord? Putin is a warlord.
Well, I mean, yes. Putin is literally, definitely a warlord. Running a nation while conducting war would be literally.
In our country, our presidents aren't warlords. What are our presidents?
Corrupt as fuck.
Okay. Burkina Faso. I don't know too much about the food. I've met a lot of Burkinabe people. They're very, very nice people. I went to school with a few Burkinabes.
Is there something uniquely different about their ethnic group, or are they? Because it's all tribal over there, right?
They're Burkinabes. Yeah, they're mostly of the same tribe. I mean, in terms of what? Yeah, they're.
Well,
I mean,
did French colonialism like
they're really French people.
realize all
here.
that stuff because they were French before that, right?
Yeah,
Like,
they're really French acting.
but
Yeah,
I'm saying, like, so when they were colonized by France, it got rid of all that tribal stuff, and now they're just one nation of people that
This is
they
one
see
nation, yeah.
themselves like some of the other places, like Ethiopia, where they also
Yeah.
with different tribes.
I don't know. I do know this, Gimpy. If I had to pick, it would be in my top 5. It would be number 5, right? I don't know too much about the cuisine. I don't know too much about I don't believe they have any, they have resources, right? But it's a landlocked country. It used to be referred to as Upper Volta. And then Thomas Sankara changed the name to Burkina Faso. And he planted, I think, 1 million trees or something. He did a lot in that country while the little time he was there before he was K-worded. But that will be on my top 5, man. Obviously, because of the automotive industry, they are producing their own vehicles, man. And it's not like
talk about that one a lot.
You say, yeah. Well, I mean, that's. I mean, the automotive industry built America.
Yugoslavia used to have an automotive industry. You remember?
Yeah, but they were at war for a very long time, right?
Yeah, but they had a car.
Yeah,
didn't do them any good when it came down to it.
Yeah,
the car wasn't any good either.
Well, I mean, that's tomatoes. It made, it didn't work there, but it could work in Burkina Faso, especially if they start doing import exports, trading with other countries, doing, trading their cars. I don't know, but it's not the most beautiful country.
Cars China's gonna buy.
You say what?
I wonder how many of those cars China's gonna buy.
Oh. Yeah, maybe China will buy a boatload of them. Maybe so. I don't know. You don't think China's going to buy any?
No, China has its own auto industry.
But China will. But it's not like China won't buy. It's not like China won't import. Right? Doesn't China import a lot of food?
Yeah, it's because it needs it.
Yeah,
it doesn't need cars. It has its own.
I think you just hate, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I am hating.
Number 4. Even though they are corrupt, even though there's a lot of instability in the north, Nigeria will be number 4. I don't like Nigeria. What'd you say?
You're going home.
My home is Ohio, sir. My home is Ohio. My home is not Nigeria. My home is Ohio. I'm gonna pick number 4 for Nigeria. Emerging market. They have their own automotive industry.
That's growing cyber fraud industry.
Okay, listen. At one point in time, you could argue that America, with the Wild Wild West, you had a lot of corruption. You had Yeah. So, Nigeria is a new country, right? It was formed in 68, 67. I can't remember. You're going to have its challenges, man. A lot of the people are backwards. I will admit that. But you have a population of 400 million people. 1 in 4 human beings on the planet, if I'm not mistaken, is a Nigerian. Think about that for a minute. So you have a lot of people within the population. A lot of people within the population will breed a certain class of intellects eventually. That's why wherever Nigerians go throughout the planet, they typically position themselves to be in. I beg your pardon?
As princes. And you're
they do a lot of they do a lot of scamming. You're gonna get scamming from backwater countries, right? You get it from India. You're gonna get it from.
You don't see me running to live in India either.
No. But the food is shit. Nigerians have bad food. That's one of the reasons why I really wouldn't want to move there. The local cuisine is terrible. It's disgusting. It's not really attractive. Guys, go over to Just the Guys podcast. Guys, I'm going to end it on my show. Come over to Just the Guys podcast, guys. Once again, Just the Guys podcast. All right, I'm about to end it over here. Here we go.
Buddy, man, I would not live in either of those places. I'd visit, but I would never stay.
Yeah. Nigeria has oil. Under Aliko Dangote has opened up multiple oil refineries. So basically, thus creating jobs, right? There's a lot of opportunity. SBU says, SBU, why don't you come? SBU, this would be a great conversation for you, SBU. But in terms of Nigeria, the women aren't that attractive. So if you plan on as a guy traveling and you say you want to settle somewhere, you're not settling for the women. I can tell you that most Nigerian women, they're not the best looking. But outside of that, you're not really going to have the best landscape. You're going to have a lot of congestion in the cities. Highly walkable environments, highly walkable if you plan on, if you don't necessarily need a car. The systems aren't the best, but you see a lot of growing communities in Nigeria. For example, Gimpy, Victoria Island. You get a lot of neighborhoods that are very, very impressive. I would even argue on a first level standard, but you have to be very, very careful of corruption and scamming and yada yada yada. Number three, I'm gonna have to give number 3 to Angola. You like Angola?
Sure.
Angola. I'm talking more or less the city. What is the major city in Angola? I don't know why it's escaping me right now, but Angola is pretty nice, Gimpy. Angola is pretty nice. It has what's the city in Angola? Why is my brain not? Hold on for a second, guys. Give me a second. Angola, Luanda. Yeah, Luanda. Luanda is a nice city, man. You should check it out. Check out Luanda. Nice city, nice infrastructure. I wouldn't necessarily say on a first world standard. Obviously, I've never been there, but I've seen enough documentary, enough videos, enough live streams to see that it's definitely on the cusp.
Yeah, no.
On the cusp. Hold on, give it a chance. Give it a chance.
Borders Congo. No. Anything that borders Congo is a no-go.
Yeah, but Luanda is not anywhere near Congo.
I don't care.
It's not anywhere
border
near.
Of hell. No.
Do you? It's stop playing, CT. So Luanda has great food. Obviously, the food is inspired from who? Gimpy, go ahead, buddy. The Portuguese. The Portuguese. SBU with the $5 super chat. She says, "Stop playing, CT. South Africa has the best infrastructure." I'm saving the best for last. Security boss. So number 3, I'm gonna have to go with Angola. What's up, Moxie? Salute to you. Number 2, Gimpy. I'm gonna have to go. Number 2. I'm gonna have to go with Zimbabwe. Beautiful country, beautiful wildlife, beautiful reserves. I've known a few people in my personal life that have gone to Zimbabwe and started business in Zimbabwe.
I could get with Zimbabwe.
I beg your pardon?
Nightmarish.
You said what, buddy?
I could get with Zimbabwe. It doesn't border anything nightmarish.
Yeah, Harare, which is this capital city. It's not that bad of a city, man. You should look it up, man. Look up Harare, man. It's not that bad of a city. It's pretty clean. It's pretty safe in the city. Pretty safe. The environment is nice. Very, very black nationalist. Very black nationalist. And I'll give you a number 2 I'll do an honorable mention before I give you my number 1. Do you want to know? Guess what my number 1 is? I mean, my honorable mention is. You really don't care about Africa, do you? You really, it's all over your face. You don't care about Africa, man. No, my honorable mention is Rwanda. Rwanda.
Oh my God.
Particularly key. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you know about Rwanda?
Please go enlighten us of everything you know.
Well, you just said, "Oh, you're God." I mean, do you know anything about Rwanda?
Yeah, places where people massacre each other.
Oh, I'm sorry, because America doesn't have a history of massacring people. Oh, okay. It's not like we had an entire we didn't have an entire population over here that was already here, and I wonder where those people are at. But anyway,
where they belong, savages.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The conqueror is calling the conquered the savage. Jesus Christ. The Rwanda, one of the big reasons about, in terms of moving, Rwanda is the most, it possibly is one of the most beautiful countries in Africa. People say it's so beautiful, God built it. I know people will say, well, God built everything, right? Well, God also built Antarctica too, right? Is Antarctica really beautiful? It's just a wasteland of ice. Rwanda has beautiful hills, beautiful terrain, beautiful weather. If you are a guy and you want to travel the world, you want to see new things, and you want to be around beautiful people, Rwanda has some of the most beautiful women on the planet. Their cuisine is pretty good. It's pretty decent. It's not the best. Their local cuisine isn't the best. There aren't that many natural resources there. So, if you are somebody who believes you're going to get involved in some sort of, if you're going to become resource wealth, you're not. But Kigali is one of the most beautiful cities in Africa, if not the most beautiful city in Africa. And it's one of the most cleanest, Gimpy. It's one of the most cleanest cities, not just in Africa, but on the planet. It's very clean, man. The Kigali residents take pride in keeping their city clean. They take very, very much pride. A lot of tourism is coming into Kigali, or has been there for the past 20, 25 years. A lot of tourism. What's up, Lena? My number one, Gimpy, is South Africa.
Oh, shocker.
South Africa has beautiful weather.
Shocker.
South Africa has beautiful women. Hold on. South Africa has a beautiful culture. Their local cuisine, which ironically, the South Africans are the biggest meat eaters in Africa. I don't know if you know that. Did you know that? Yeah, the South African diet largely is a lot of meat, whereas other groups of Africans don't really eat a lot of meat. So they eat a lot of meat in South Africa. They eat a lot of meat. South Africa has industry. It has commercialization. It has systems. Are some of the systems in decay and collapse?
Yeah.
I see a lot of photos, and I don't even know if that's. So I don't know if that's. You say what?
Yes, right. That they are, but you'll say, "Oh, America has systems that are in decay and collapse." That's your classic argument.
Hey, Gibby, when you're talking about Israel, do I constantly butt in and cut you off when you're talking about your homeland?
Yes, as the host of the show.
So,
but hold on, one sec. We have some people in the back. First of all, always late, never on time. The Cisco running campaigns means she's never here with the start of the show.
Chaotic, how you doing? Hey,
pretty good about yourself, man.
How y'all doing?
I'm all right. I'm over here listening to this something word talk about my continent.
Talking about?
Now, God forbid.
I'm telling him.
God forbid we even joke about Israel. God forbid that. Go ahead.
That's true. God forbid that.
God forbid that.
I'm glad you understand.
Yeah.
I heard you talking about infrastructure, and it's funny because today I was being briefed on a bridge here in Maryland that was built in the 30s. and is in desperate need of repair. So when you talk about, I think kind of the Western and Western aligned
Mm-hmm.
countries are, I think that infrastructure thing is a commonality with them, the degrade in infrastructure. Now I will say this with South Africa in particular, what they went through this phase, and they may be still going through a little bit of that, where they pretty much abolished white people from industry within the country. And in the desalination industry in particular, it caused a lot of problems because that's obviously something where you need some institutional knowledge. And they ended up, to save face, they didn't bring back the white South Africans. They went to Germany and hired a whole bunch of guys from Germany to come over and run the desalination plants. So just one wild occurrence with infrastructure. But in general, I think a lot of the Western aligned countries are suffering from that right now.
It's just like in America, the Cisco, they bring in the Amish in the East Coast to build homes. In the West Coast, they use the Mexican. So it's the same thing over here. Gimpy, South Africa has its own entertainment industry. It's a lot of money there, buddy. I've watched a lot of the Cisco. Have you ever watched any South African movies?
I haven't watched all of them. Well, let me say I haven't watched a complete South African movie, but I have seen portions of their productions.
Very good. The tourism market is I would argue second to none in Africa. A lot of tourism, Gimpies. A lot of tourism in South Africa because one, South Africa has some of the most beautiful landscape on the planet. Like if it looks beautiful and magnificent, Gimpy, do you just not like Africa? I mean, what is it about Africa that you don't like? I mean, I thought that you would be open about this. You don't like Africa?
What am I saying? I'm eating my cheese puff.
Okay.
I'm letting you talk. You complain. Look, I've never seen such an ungrateful motherfucker like you ever. You complain all the time. No one ever lets me talk. They cut me off on my own show. They never let me finish. I'm letting you have the whole mic here. I'll even put you on the big screen. There you go, buddy. Go tell us all the wonders of Africa. Run with the zebras. Prance with the gazelles, my brother.
You know, I have a theory.
Oh, go ahead.
I have a theory about why Africa. Well, there are two things. There's my theory, and then there's the reality. One of the reasons that Africa is not as prosperous as a lot of other nations, America in particular, we are really blessed with rivers that run to seas, and the geography is set up perfectly for a thriving economy. Adam Smith talks about that in his book, Wealth of Nations. Africa, you don't have any rivers that run to the ocean. Well, let me amend that. You do, but they are interrupted by falls and, they're very shallow, so they're not navigable by like cargo vessels. You have a lot of geographic impediments to commerce just on the continent of Africa. Then the other thing, and this is my theory. So, all right, if you are ancient man and you're living up in Europe somewhere, especially like the higher latitudes, necessity is the mother of invention. So you have to start understanding ways to cultivate and store food over the winter. You have to figure out ways to build structures that will protect you from the elements. Not so much in a lot of parts of Africa where you have pretty much a year-long growing season. You dare not build anything taller than 2 stories because it's hot, in most places. So I think that's part of it. That's part of it. Now, another part of it is a lack of written history. There are a lot of oral historical traditions in Africa, and when you can't pass on exact knowledge, okay, you can't pass on architectural knowledge orally. You got to write that down. Just my theory.
I like this one. Africa is a PvP server, not a survival mode server. You're not a gamer, CT. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah, I'm lost. Yeah.
As a gamer, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Can you do something for me real quick? Can you look up? Can you share Table Mountain? Table Mountain.
Hold on.
Okay, thank you so much. It's Table Mountain.
Yeah, I don't want you to be upset, man. I know that there's a Table Mountain casino. Can we share that? But that's
you can do that too. Yeah,
but that's not one in South Africa that you want.
Where's that at?
It's California.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to get this picture to load. There we go. And in 1 sec, I'm gonna bring. We got Dave in the back. Diamond Dave. Hold on, let me get your thing up and then Roma. There you go, buddy. Welcome, Dave.
There you have it.
Hey, Dave, how you doing?
This is just one of the. This is what I'm talking about right here.
That's beautiful.
I'm telling you, like, dude, this mountain. Imagine. Now, listen, I don't know anything about tourism in South Africa. This is okay.
People off that mountain?
I'm sorry.
You think they throw people off that mountain? You know, they settle.
You're looking at it from a negative perspective. I highly doubt that. They do have laws in South Africa, but this is on the Cape Peninsula. I'm pretty sure that this is a tourist location. I'm pretty sure that the mountain, there's parts of the mountain that can be used for climbing. Man, if you get a person like me and like a million me's, a place like this, man, I would market the hell out of something like that, man. Like, I would make this the equivalent of what people do when they go and they see the Mona Lisa, you know, when they go to the Louvre. You know, South Africa and many other countries in Africa, man, they have some of the most beautiful landscape that in itself can drive in tourism. You know,
it does already.
Well, I'm again. I've never been to South Africa. I don't know.
I know people go to Africa for like the guided safari tour for 2 weeks,
right?
A month. Glamping before it was glamping or whatever. You know, like
yeah.
So again, that's what they do already.
Yeah,
still hasn't. I mean, they've been doing it for decades. That's not new. They make a bunch of money with tourism, I'm sure.
Okay. South Africa is number one for me, man, on my list, man. Cisco, which one is number one for you? I don't know if you.
Yeah, since this is your topic, you, as far as I was led to believe, comes out of a question that you gave Logic.
In terms of what African country would I be?
Yeah, what black country would you live in? You got to pick one. I said Zambia. It just rolls off the tongue.
You have to pick one.
Mm-hmm. And Wakanda isn't real, so you can't pick that.
Zamunda, then.
Oh, Zamunda is also not a real country.
Okay.
Last time
All right. So you.
But last time I heard I was Prince of Zamunda.
Okay. Dave, why don't you go? Because Dave, you're outside of America now, and come back to me.
So, if I absolutely did not have a choice and have to pick, honestly, it would probably be Kenya. Many years ago, when I was a kid, my mother worked for like Billy Graham and did a bunch of like overseas stuff with churches in Kenya. And she still does it to this day. She'll fly to Kenya and she has a lot of friends out there. I would move to Kenya solely because when I was growing up, like I would get birthday cards, and with the advent of the internet, like birthday emails from these people many years ago. And since that's the only real place that there's any semblance of any kind of connection to, I would go there.
Gimpy, did you answer?
Yeah, dude, I would go to Zambia because that's fun to
okay.
say. Dude, I would never live in Africa. You can throw me out of the plane on the way there if I'm being forced to move to Africa. I'm
See,
sorry.
This question for me is,
I wouldn't live anywhere but the United States of America.
yeah, that. But if I have to answer, I mean, I'm with you on that. But if I have to answer, South Africa is going to be South Africa is going to be a no, because now I heard everything that Chaotic said, but it's also a reality that, you know, the two major political parties, the EFF and the ANC, they're reminding me a lot of Zimbabwe, Mugabe's Zimbabwe right now. So until they grow out of that, I couldn't
see. But CT doesn't believe that. See, I'm sorry, CT. If you don't say something, I'm saying it in your name because
no, go ahead. I'm listening to you guys.
Say something for saying what he just said. But because he's black, you're not chin checking him. I'm just pointing that out. But he would check you and say that's all propaganda, that's all bullshit. The news media makes that up. It's not real. Blah blah blah. That you're wrong. They're not bloodthirsty like that. Sorry.
No,
like CT, but we all know that's what you say.
The EFF is the prominent guy in the EFF is
Julius Malema.
Julius Malema, that's right.
Yeah.
And man, this cat can fill a soccer stadium with people chanting in unison, "Kill the Boer." Okay. And when you get a soccer stadium full of Zulus doing that, that's something you should pay attention to. It's not conducive to a fully functioning economy. Let me say that. So I guess if I had to think about it, another advanced African country, beautiful scenery. Guess I'd do Mauritius over on the East Coast. If I had to pick one.
Isn't that an island?
It is.
Oh, yeah, that's an island. Yeah.
See, SPU agrees with me. It's just a song. She lives down in South Africa, and it holds that everybody overblows it. It's not what everybody says it is outside of South Africa.
Gib, you ever heard of the Seychelles?
No.
The Seychelles.
I know from you guys. So if you have
you should look up the Seychelles. Tell me what you think about the Seychelles. Yeah, look up the Seychelles. Tell me what you think about the Seychelles.
Spell that for me.
SEYCHELLES.
Hey, I do want to bring this up. This is kind of on topic. Have you guys noticed?
God damn.
When I was growing up, they called the country Niger. But
Niger, yeah.
They called it Niger, but I think now because the media is so sensitive and nobody wants to have a slip of the tongue, they call it Niger.
Niger, yeah. That's why they do it.
They had a big meeting and said, guys, look, it's too close. Let's just go with Niger.
And I mean, the thing for me, because I travel outside the US, and like South Africa would also be a no for me, because I don't know if like the stadium chant "Kill the Boer" is real or not. I don't, because I've never been to South Africa. I've never been to Jammu Kashmir, but I know as a Hindu that's not a safe place for anyone to be because it's a war zone, right? So I'm not going to risk it, right? That's why for me, South Africa wouldn't be on the radar, because it could be overblown. But if it's not, and I get there, then I'm screwed in this hypothetical scenario, because my understanding is like where would you move to, implying that where would you move to and you can never leave,
Okay.
right? So for me, it would not be South Africa. Kenya is probably the only thing on the board that I could really, again, because like the ties mainly like my mother has, and from my very limited understanding of Kenya, there's a reasonably large Christian population, and as we have seen in many parts of the world, Christian populations generally are more accepting of foreigners than non-Christian populations.
What do
Somebody,
you think about I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just saying. Somebody just asked, "Are there any black-led countries
Logic.
outside of Africa?" And there's Jamaica,
Haiti.
Haiti.
yeah, Haiti. Okay,
Where's Shine from? The rap.
Guinea,
Guyana.
Guyana.
Guyana is a black-led country. Yeah. And South America, that's a black-led
There are a
country.
bunch of Caribbean countries that are black.
Yeah, Guyana.
But, I guess if we can pick those, I'd still not live in any of those places.
Really?
A lot of them. Yeah. I would never live. Oh my God. No.
I gotta agree with Gimpy because I
I
mean,
like America.
I mean-
America is a very comfortable place to live. Sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
oh yeah, I was just gonna say, I mean, like, I wouldn't want to, but if I had to, for like the sake of the discussion, I mean, there's a reason why I moved to Mongolia, and that's because my wife and her family, right? Like, I don't plan. I don't plan on leaving Mongolia like ever.
Ooh. Okay, I lied. I would live in Belize.
Seven still said Belize. Yeah, that's where Shine is from. Yeah, Belize.
Yeah, but they made Belize
Oh,
very
okay.
friendly to Americans. It's super
But-
friendly for Americans to retire there.
but Guyana is also a black-led country.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, but dude, I'm just saying. I take it back though. I would live in Belize, but they go out of their way to make it for people who like America and are American to come retire there.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a different story.
What about Kigali, the Cisco, the Kigali? It's in Rwanda.
Yeah. why
Yeah,
would you
see
think
these
that's
places
Rwanda?
with, like, look, Rwanda, even Liberia, which was supposed to be set up
Yeah.
as like the little America,
Yeah.
in Africa. I'm very conscious and cognizant of the impact that colonialism had on putting warring tribes
Yeah.
right on top of each other. So I would have to pass. Yeah.
Parents see always.
And even with Mauritius, I would have me a sailboat docked and fully stocked and ready to get the hell out of there.
I think one of the
Something went down.
I think one of the biggest problems with Africa, the Cisco, and the cuisine, man, it just doesn't hit, man. That's just
I don't know.
me.
Okay.
Well,
Okay. We had a client who was Ethiopian.
I knew you were gonna say that. That's it. I knew you were gonna say Ethiopian. That's
no,
the only-
also Eritrean food is good.
It's the same. They're the same race of people. They're Ethiopians or Eritreans are the same people.
No, you count Morocco as part of Africa?
No, but Ethiopians and Eritreans are the same people, so their food is going to be similar. Moroccans are Berbers, so their food is more Middle Eastern.
Yeah,
Right.
and when you get up into that northern region,
That's not really-
chickpeas. I don't dig all that stuff.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
but see, and I knew you were going to say Ethiopia, right? But when you really get down to sub-Saharan Africa, the appearance of the food, the presentation, the combinations, it just doesn't. It's not there. I don't know. I think that's what Tina Turner talked about this 50 years ago. I don't know if you guys know that. SBU says kill the Boers propaganda. There's a huge white African population that will tell the truth. Exactly, SBU.
But the
go
bushmeat thing around in the Congo, and it doesn't really do it for me at all.
Yeah,
Um,
I really believe it's the little things, right? if they mastered cuisine, that little tweak in the continent, you would get a more positive view of it. I think the food is a large part of it.
You're right. I mean, look, people go to Italy.
Yeah.
They go to see the ruins and they go to eat.
Yeah, they go to eat.
Yeah. I mean, New York City, a large part of the draw is the food.
Yeah.
So taste, texture, aroma, that's all a part of the beauty of life.
Yeah.
So I get that. And you're right. I worked in the UK, and the best thing about their food is the curry, which is not even this.
Yeah.
So no, that's a huge draw. If they had like a different type of culinary tradition, like they do a lot with the I think it's called fufu, where you eat it with your hands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Folk just aren't turned on by that.
Yeah, there's like, to me, the Japanese have mastered the art of cuisine in terms of the presentation, the cleanliness. I know a lot of people aren't really into sushi, but it's just even Anthony Bourdain says every chef will tell you that they look towards the Japanese in terms of how cuisine is to be presented and made, yada yada yada. But man, it's something's missing in Africa, and I get it, man. Like, if I could sell Africa, man, I think I would be like a Trump, man. I would really try to sell it. I would consult. They'll listen.
People have done that, right? Like, I'm not.
Oh yeah,
I'm not going to sit here and say you're the first guy to think of that. What's his face tried to build a whole fucking city there.
Oh, don't say Akon. Don't say Akon. That was never serious.
Like, people have tried to invest money in Africa to do exactly that. Build housing. Some are more successful than others. I'm not saying it's all a bust. There's definitely money going in. I know money goes into Africa because my brother-in-law sells steel to Africa. Right? So that means they have infrastructure building. They're building cars because he sells steel for stupid ass car that you love.
I'll tell you another problem with Africa, man. I've never been, right, but what I've seen so far, you gotta get over that street vendor shit, man. It's to me, that is so much blight, right? It is so much blight on a community, on a city. You have all these people, selling knickknacks and food on the street. It creates choke points, and that's probably one of the reasons why places like Lagos, which is a major city in Nigeria, places like, my God, Kenya is the worst, man. They have places in Kenya that look god awful because of it's so much congestion from street vending. Everybody's
they have that in the Middle East too, right?
But we're not talking about the Middle East. We're talking about.
But I'm saying, like, Middle East. No, my point is those cities that have open air markets in the Middle Eastern that are modern cities that still have the throwback old school shook and everything. Those cities still function. Those cities grow.
But I would argue that
the same negative impacts that you're trying to explain away in Africa.
Well, I would argue that most
the Middle East doesn't have the population that Africa has, so that's
not only that. The Middle East, when it comes to, like, if you're in, I'll just pick a country, Saudi Arabia, and you're a street vendor, there are going to be some rules that you are not going to skirt. They're very rigid in terms of
that's
enforcement.
The point. See, you're carrying the water for the same thing he's trying to carry the water. And that's that the people in the countries that you're trying to carry water for don't behave to maintain order. That's why there is no order. It's not because they have open air market.
I agree with that too.
Because people don't want to behave and follow the rules. Whereas, like you said, in those other countries, because the law is pretty harsh on what happens when you don't follow the rules, they follow the rules. I'm just pointing that out. It's a matter of that. It's not the individual explanations. It's that the populations in the two different places, one group listens because they don't want to die, and the other group gets away with it. I don't know.
Hey, real quick, Dave, speaking of culinary traditions, so you guys got steak tartare. That's what Mongolia's known for because of
Mhm.
Genghis Khan. Do you find that to be true there? That's
I
a
mean,
huge thing?
I don't personally eat beef, but
Okay.
beef is like very, very huge here.
Mhm.
So I like, there's also like horse, mutton.
Horse is
It's
big,
very
right?
common.
Do they still drink fermented milk, fermented goat milk, or whatever it is?
Arag, yep, it's
Yeah,
really good. I love it. Arag, yep. And then there's like, even though we have a stupid amount of food, we also get food imported from China, Russia, Japan, South Korea, other Asian nations too. So there's a lot of stuff. There's even like Western style food, like right across the street. There's a pub that I like really going to, and they have like Hersher and Mongolian food, but they also have like sausages and like a big sausage platter, cheese platters, Jack Daniels, things like that. So there's all kinds of food here.
CP, you ever have a rog?
Ever had what?
A rog, fermented goat milk, or whatever it is?
No, I've never had it. No, but I've seen people who do vlogging. They drink it. Yeah.
Dude, that stuff can get you wrecked.
Really?
Yes.
It's alcoholic.
Well, so the thing about it too is it's extremely alcoholic. So it's basically like drinking. Well, here's the thing. So it's like drinking vodka, but because it's predominantly milk, you don't notice it.
Gotcha.
And so a lot of people will drink a lot of it. And this happened to me when I first had it. Because, I drink alcohol. I'm drinking beer right now, right? I drink alcohol all the time. But when I had Arag, it didn't hit me as hard initially because, you don't really taste it. You can kind of taste it, but it's like, oh, okay, it's a little alcohol and it's milk. And then you'll slam like one of those bottles and then you will be destroyed.
Gimpy, you're the host. So I'm going to ask you. Now, you heard the countries that I named earlier, right?
Yeah.
Okay. One of them was Angola, right?
Yes.
One of them was Rwanda, correct?
Death Wanda.
I beg your pardon?
You heard me. Death Wanda.
Okay. Equatorial Guinea is another country I'm going to name. What do these three countries have in common?
Death.
People die every day and all over the planet. You get me? I mean,
Massive inflicted death. I'm sorry. Like, I have a very hard time.
The Rwandan genocide was 35 years ago. Okay.
Like that's right. You're making me feel old. You're making me feel old. You're just mean.
The three countries that I named, they're beautiful. I said in Rwanda, you got Kigali, which is a very clean city, very beautiful city, very orderly and peaceful. Same thing goes with Angola, with Luanda. These are some of the most heavily Catholic countries. I think Catholicism needs to be the main focal point in Africa at this point. I know it's going to be hard. I get it. Religious wars could happen. Holy wars could happen.
Yeah, or happen.
Wherever Catholicism really goes, it does improve the environment. I'm just saying. That's what I've seen. So maybe,
oh,
go ahead.
Yeah, that was my point I was making earlier. It's like with Kenya, it's like in my experience traveling, like Christian, Catholic, I kind of lump them all together. But Christian and Catholic populations typically are more accepting of foreigners and typically have like a higher quality of life.
You got to have good-looking women.
That's most important. More than
I'm going to tell you why it's the most important. Good-looking women, even subconsciously, bring in a level of order, economics, you name it. Man, you gotta focus on beauty in many of these African countries. Nigerian women, listen, I don't have a beauty stick I could hit one of these broads with. But there has to be an emphasis on beauty, man. You can't walk around with dirty ass. They walk around with sandals. Their feet look, a goddamn mess. Their hair is a mess. You gotta be attractive, because if you are attractive, the men in that society just behave a certain way. Men will build a civilization if the women are attractive, man. If that makes any sense. Yeah.
If the economy is working at least adequately well.
Yeah.
And you have basic infrastructure, plumbing, for example, that's huge, because that you got to carry away.
Plumbing is big.
Yeah.
Gotta be able to shit.
If you've got basic infrastructure and a halfway decent economy, you're going to have good-looking people. The fact that, again, a lot of things in this world are done simply by necessity. And if you are getting up in the morning and walking a mile to get to a clean water well and a mile back, and there may be lions in the tall grass, deodorant might not be, high on your list of priorities. Okay, surviving the trek to get some clean water, and a lot of other things come between that and aesthetics.
I'm sorry that they can't do their makeup as they run from lions. It's basically what he's throwing out at you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it makes sense too. It makes sense because it's not just beautiful women, but I mean, it's like beautiful, like architecture, right? If you look at societies throughout human history, societies that put an emphasis on beauty and architecture and physical appearance, they have high standards of living because people want beautiful things and they want to maintain beautiful things. That's why many countries in Asia, Japan, even like China, Singapore is huge on beauty. My sister-in-law lives there. And like everyone focuses on being beautiful. Everyone focuses on keeping the architecture clean and the environment clean. You so much as litter, they will beat the shit out of you on the street. Yes, they will. Right? But Singapore is a very good place to live, right? And you look at even parts, you can compare this within countries, right? You look at like Thailand, right? There are tourist traps that are absolute shitholes. And the people look and behave accordingly. So there are also other parts of Thailand that are absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. And if you so much as sneeze on a plant, they will beat the shit out of you on the street. Right?
They should.
So
let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted here. In America's a pretty big country.
It's huge. Okay?
And we got a lot going. You can, for example, go to what's this place, Gimpy, we got down here? What's it? The National Harbor. Okay.
Yeah.
You can go down there. You can fly from overseas and go to all of these really built up spots in America. But you can also go to plenty of places in America, the Appalachians, for example, that a lot of times don't have indoor plumbing. Okay,
excuse me.
You could go. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. You can go down into the depths of the South, and you can find people who are still living as if it were the early 20th century or late 19th century. Even.
Appalachia.
Can I just point out your extreme use of example is nowhere needed for this one. We can go with just the first part. You can go to the National Harbor and then take 1 footstep out of it on the west side of Baltimore.
It's true.
No. 1 footstep out of what would be considered that area into West Baltimore. Just 1 step, and you're all good. You'll get the exact example you need. People have to understand, man. Like, it's not that America. I say I live here because it's like some superstar place. Nothing's wrong. It's that no matter how much the shit's wrong, it's built for me, not for anyone else. So I'll stay here, where everything's because even in that shithole in Appalachia with no plumbing and living like it's 1897, they got a Walmart and I can buy a PS5 and I can get video games and a TV.
Yeah.
And if I really wanted, I could have indoor plumbing.
And
You
so
know-
you, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you know why I also chose those countries too, Gimpy? There's another reason. There's many reasons, man.
Because you're sadistic.
South Africa is my number one because South Africa has a strong court system. They have a strong judicial system.
They do. They're very like judicial.
I'm sorry.
A very communist-like judicial system.
How do you
Super-
know that? How do you know it's communist?
I'm sorry. Are we
No, I'm
here
just asking. You said it.
because they're basically a communist country without calling themselves that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, no, the both the EFF and the ANC, EFF more so, they're avowed
Both
Marxists.
super socialists. None of them
they're-
are not
yeah.
socialists. None of the political bodies inside South Africa are not socialist. It's
Yeah,
some mega-
Malima's a hardcore Marxist.
Again, and I'm not saying it to devalue it. I'm actually saying it as a positive. One of the benefits of having a country like that is the rule of law is pretty fucking stern. I mean, it is. So I'm not knocking it in that regard. I know it sounds, but the truth is that because of the way they are and the heavy power the state has, they have heavy-handed court system there that gets the job done.
And it's also, in my opinion, I mean, I think it's also good for like, and this is one of the reasons why I'm actually glad I live in a country where many people see it as socialist or communist, because it's like in many of these countries, it's very good for raising a family because the rule of law is so stern. And while, I mean, yeah, there are some freedoms that you have, you know, like things like pride parades. We look at pictures of how ridiculous they get in America. That does not happen to the extent anywhere close here. You can have a flag and you can march and police will escort you. You can only go in certain areas. You cannot talk to people, right? So it's also good for, I would argue, enforcing like moral order and enforcing like family values. Same thing with like media. Here in Mongolia, what you can watch is heavily regulated, and you won't find sexualized commercials here at all like you'll find in the US. When I first landed here, I kind of crashed out on the couch, watched TV. And you know what I found? I found like some Korean soap operas, and late at night where families watch TV together, there were Mongolian families in traditional dress singing songs and talking about, you know, national pride, basically. Right? So to what Gimpy is saying, like the rule of law and a strong court system is a good thing.
Yeah.
For these reasons.
And might I remind you that South Africa is the country that put a legless man in serious prison for, remember that guy, the Blade Runner?
The white guy. Yeah.
His wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they that case was complex. He just got free and clear of all the probation and everything, but they treated that guy like any able-bodied person who had done it. There was no
gold medal or some shit. Didn't he win something in the Olympics?
I think it was a Paralympics. He won
Paralympic.
Yeah. Because actually they wouldn't let him into the normal Olympics because he had an unfair advantage. The guy raced a thoroughbred horse and won with the blades. Okay, so it's like you can't go up against the able-bodied human. You'll blow him out of
Cyborgs
the
are
water.
real.
Say again.
Cyborgs are real, and they go haywire and kill their spouses.
Well, yeah, they put dude in prison and they kept him there for a minute. Yeah.
He deserved it. He shot her blind through the door.
Yeah, the point I'm making is just that there was no, because he was wealthy, okay, but obviously they didn't care about that. He got the letter of the law.
what's his name? Oscar Pistorius or something.
That's it. Yep.
Pistorius, yeah.
And it was
Blade
Reva
Runner.
Steenkamp. Reva Steenkamp was the his girlfriend at the time that he shot.
Anyhow,
What happened to his legs, by the way? Was he born that way, or
I think it was some kind of birth defect.
birth defect?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, fibular hemorrhage. Yeah, okay, never heard of it. Yeah,
all right. So we have now spent all night talking about where we would live in that. Well, CT talking about where he would live. A little better, but
Big Bad Kahuna 1 and Legless. Okay. Right.
yeah, I'm like good. That's funny. But so, oh man, I really don't have anywhere to take this. This is terrible.
you're gonna ask, where wouldn't you want to live?
Yeah, where wouldn't you want to live in Africa or in any black? Like, what would be the last black country that you would want to live in?
The last
I mean,
black.
it's Congo, dude. That's the last place on earth I would ever find myself.
I would say I would say the Democratic Republic of Congo, the DRC.
Yeah, I would never want to find myself in Congo.
Yeah.
Like, forced to live there for some reason.
They have a
They
weak
literally make
government.
war with themselves every other day.
Yeah, they have a very, very weak government to the point where some silly ass American white kid and his buddy, remember that happened like 2 years ago, tried to overthrow the guy. Wait, I mean, dude, think about how crazy this is. Imagine how weak this government must be that
Right.
you have these two doofuses who believe they can overthrow this government, man. Weak government, weak politicians, man, weak court systems, infrastructure.
Including warlord generals on every border.
I see. I don't know about the outskirts.
Dude,
of Congo.
literally, they have a war right now with a neighbor on every side.
I'll take
because
your word.
They don't control their own borders. They have these like militia groups that
Yeah,
exist.
their food is disgusting and nasty, man. I can't think of anything good about Kinshasa. Every time I look at a video in Kinshasa, I'm like, this place is horrible. I couldn't imagine living in this crap hole, man. This is good. Did you ever? I don't know if you guys really follow Kinshasa. Did you see a video about a year ago? It was like some Congolese. They were running some little prostitution thing, and something happened. They got raided, but all these little Chinese women started running out. It was to me, it was the funniest thing, man, seeing it. But did anybody see this? Like maybe a fire in it or something? I can't remember, man. Something happened.
You know, I didn't see that, but it's funny you mentioned the Congo because just a few days ago, I watched this guy on YouTube. He bikes like all over the world. Okay.
Yeah.
And he had one episode where he was biking through the Congolese jungle, and it's like an hour-long video, and he keeps saying, yeah, well, you know, in a day or two, I'm going to be at the city, and so I'm like, all right, cool. And I'm watching, and he's like, oh, I finally made it. And the city is literally like just this area that's been cleared, and it's a dirt field with a fence around it and a few one-level hut-like buildings. And he was like, hey, I'm at the city. And this was like a big deal. There were a lot of people there, and it was like, oh, wow, you know, this is not what I was expecting.
That's my point.
Yeah.
I would never, ever live in Congo. Like, dude, I'm willing to believe that everybody's wrong about every other part of Africa. But Congo, dude, I watch these things that like tell you about all the different, that try and explain to you all the different conflicts around the world, right? Like the YouTube channel, the history stuff, like, and they try and stay with the active stuff. Dude, Congo's in like every other day, they have a new video for Congo. Congo got something going on in it every single day. No thanks.
Hey, not to well, yeah, to change the subject before we run out of time here. And Dave, I'm not sure if you realize this is going on back over here, but you guys read about the Southern Poverty Law Center and the
Yeah,
I did a show on it.
I actually saw that on my Facebook feed.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know, we're at a point in America where I guess we don't have enough racism, so we gotta
Manufacture it.
manufacture it. Yeah.
dude, it's the horseshoe theory, right? Everybody said the horseshoe theory was true, that the far right and the far left were allies the whole time, and they were just doing it so that they both stayed in business, right? For the longest time, everybody made that joke, and it's just been true. Dude, the Unite the Right rally was funded basically by the SPLC because
That's crazy.
the people who organized it were being paid by Southern Poverty Law. Has Fuentes streamed since this happened? Because he hadn't streamed up the last time I checked. He still hadn't had a live stream, neither at Sneeko. And Laura Loomer reported Candace Owens fled the country after her lawyer dropped her. And this all happened post the SPLC thing.
Yeah, I think that thing is going to be a lot bigger than it's going to be a lot of surprises.
Dude, that's in,
I saw a graph.
but you understand that means Act Blue and what the fuck is the USAID AID funded the Unite the Right rally because they fund the Southern Poverty Law Center used to get money from programs that got cut in Doge.
Yeah, there was I actually saw a graph.
Do you see that?
Do
you get that, Cisco?
I haven't. What were you saying, Dave?
Oh, I was just going to say, I saw a graph that goes along the lines with this because this came out at the same time of like the Southern Poverty Law Center. So there's like an actual graph of term usage by the general population compared with like the media, right?
Okay.
The term white supremacy doesn't show up throughout the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, early 2000s. But then in 2014, it just starts like shooting up. And it's not just the media. This graph was showing like common vernacular.
Mm-hmm.
Like white supremacy was not in the common vernacular before 2014, I believe.
You know, at this point, everything that we've seen from, okay, I think we all recognize what Ruby Ridge was. But you know, the Waco, Oklahoma City. Now, Dave, you haven't heard me say this, I don't think, but Gimpy, you and Chaotic know that I've said this on more than one occasion. The church committee hearings told us a long time ago that the intelligence agencies were very involved in, and still are, in weaponizing certain things against the American people. Now we have proof positive that racism, that whole notion of it has been weaponized against the American people.
Yeah.
And you know, this is wild.
Yeah, but
it's amazing how like Americans fall for that.
I know.
I don't
everyone fell for it. No. The
no. Let me no, because like
SPLC.
But what I'm saying is in America.
Oh, one mic, Dave, go.
Well, yeah, what I'm saying is like that's been attempted here in Mongolia, where they tried to divide Mongolians based on class, and that backfired horrendously. My only and I don't know why this is. I mean, I'm sure you guys have a theory, but my thinking is because America is so diverse.
That's it.
It's easier to weaponize it in a country where you have people of all skin colors, all walks of life, as opposed to like Mongolia or China or like basically an ethno state where everyone, for the most part, is the same, thinks the same, and has the same worldview.
That's a big part of it. Of course, Dave, the other aspect of it is the legacy of slavery in America. They can go back and because they have an appreciable amount of people in the country right now who believe they are due reparations for slavery. And they believe that people who never owned slaves should pay for that. Okay. So that's the degree to which.
Yeah, but that was bred in, like, again, that's a whole nother conversation that you're.
No. This is part and parcel of why it is so.
Yeah, but the root cause of why they think that is because on the underlying mechanic of it was fed into the narrative because they didn't always think they were due a reparation.
You're right. You're right.
The same way white supremacy. So let me bring it back to what I was trying to say before. If you think about this in actual, what we know now is thanks to Doge is that USAID, your tax dollars, funded the SPLC, right? which in turn took that money and spent it to create racism, to then turn around to fundraise off of things like Act Blue to bring. So now Act Blue has fraud charges. We found out USAID was funding all these programs for all these different non-for-profits that were basically working against the country. And we now found out that an agent of an agency that receives this was using all the money that it got to do things like create more racism, to then turn around and fundraise specifically off of things that are in the social lexicon, like the Unite the Right rally, which has favorite hot takes like there are good people on both sides. Like, let's just remember, things that got Trump impeached basically are all manufactured and fake and funded by tax dollars.
Well, they did globally with tax dollars too, because I remember being pretty upset when I found out that like my tax dollars went, some of it goes to USAID, right? And like, because even before I moved overseas, when I was living in America, friends and family internationally, I was amazed that USAID is funding like transgender research in Africa. And there was $25 million that was supposed to go to help India. But what that help was to try and galvanize the other party to literally overthrow the current party, which supports Trump and supports like American values. That to me just blew my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. And the saddest part about this is that it's not like this revelation is going to interrupt their ability to keep the same game going. People are still going to feed into this stuff, man.
They don't care.
What do you
mean the left doesn't care that the SPLC is like
they'll just move on to some other.
No, their whole theory is it's just like the police. It's what CT called on his show the day he did it. They're all doing the thing. They're saying, oh no, they were using it to infiltrate, to this and that. Doesn't matter what those people were doing with that time while they were doing it, or that the SPLC didn't use that to stop anything.
I can't help but.
My point is that you're never going to heal the divide in this country without the cataclysmic event. We are past that point. Like, the point of no return has already long since been in the rearview mirror. People are baked into their beliefs without something to like force them out of their. Whether I'm right or wrong, it doesn't matter. For the most part, unless you can do something heavy duty, you're not going to move the needle with me or any of us or anybody in any direct. There are very few people who are of adult age that are going to change their mind anymore. They're baked into a camp. You're either on the side, you're either with Trump or against him, and it's that simple. In 2026, it's one question: would you vote for Trump? That's it. If the answer is yes, you're one group of people. If the answer is no, you're the other group. And those are two groups across the world. It doesn't matter. You could be a guy in Mongolia who's a Mongolian. If you ask him, are you good Trump, yes or no? And he says yes, he's in one group. He says no, he's in the other. And that's the divide. It is.
And then the other thing is here in America, they haven't just split people into one group or the other. You're a part of like multiple groups. So this, they can catch you coming and going. Okay. So if you're black, yeah, sure. But you're black and gay, or you are
intersectionality you're talking about.
There you go. Single black. I'm not up on all the jargon, but you're right.
But when you boil it all down, mostly that intersectionality is so they can compete amongst themselves. If they had to, then versus the out group is the line is Trump. That's what it is. Like I don't want it to be that. I'm not saying that
for now.
I'm saying the world is saying Trump is the line. You're either on Trump's side or you're actively against Trump. There's no in between.
It's funny. I was on a program yesterday, and this is left-leaning kind of program, and the moderator was going through all of the poll numbers for how the countries of Europe see Trump. And I'm like, who gives a damn? Okay. Nobody's asked me how I feel about Macron. All right.
Yeah.
Who cares? Right. But they have got to emphasize division. And as you said, Gimpy, they've got to, keep the spotlight on this anti-Trump narrative wherever they can get it. Wherever they can get it.
I've seen people try that here. There's been a couple reporters with like Eagle News, which is like national Mongolian news, right? And they're younger, and I think that they're a bit more Western in that they seem to be a bit more like activist types, and they'll like do articles about like Trump and stuff, but like nobody responds to it, which is kind of funny, right? It's just interesting because it's like it's very Western, like I don't know why they're doing that in Europe, probably to foster a divide with people in Europe. But I agree with like Gimpy and Cisco when they're talking about like intersectionality, because it's not, like it's not just a big crack that I believe America is at the point of no return. It's you have this big crack of like, do you support Trump or do you not support Trump? And if you don't support Trump, then it breaks down further into all these little groups. So even they're divided.
Right.
And I'm going to be honest, I am not an expert on world history. I cannot think of a country or a nation or a civilization that has been so divided with so many subgroups, with so many people saying, hi, I'm so and so, I am, black or gay, and these are my pronouns, and like all these things, and surviving.
You're right. No,
I've never heard
right.
Persia. All these great nations had problems. Like all the great
No.
empires. As they conquered more territory and they incorporated and they had mass uncontrolled
right.
migration.
But if you look at Rome, the reason why the
they literally had mass uncontrolled migration.
The Visigoths did not want to destroy Rome. They wanted to be Romans.
Yeah, but there were plenty of other groups that moved and never assimilated and ate the country from within, and Rome fed it land to give them peace, and then they tore themselves apart by their own. Like, dude, that's not the conversation.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to have that conversation.
What Dave is saying is that, and I can't think of one either, Dave. Dave is saying that he can't think of a country that was so hyper divided.
No, you can. America, the whole idea was that you united around that we saw past our differences, right? Like we all might have our different unique.
But you're united. You're united in that
American and our freedoms and our God-given rights, and that being in America as a privilege was supposed to unite us. But
yeah. But America is not united on
those grounds anymore. But again, what I want to say is that you guys keep talking like you have a right. Specifically, Dave, I think you misunderstand when I say that America's past the point of no return. It's not like I want that, and it's not like I'm a doomsday guy trying to like I'm not a doomer trying to say, oh, it's all coming to an end. No, life will move on. When I say it's past the point of no return, it means that we're at a point now where we're autopilot to some event. Something is going to happen. You know why? Because the anti-Trumps group, right? They won't forget. They're saying it now. And they've proven before that they're very effective at following through on these specific types of threats. And those threats are everybody who helped, anyone who knew, everybody. When the left takes power back, which they inevitably will, the pendulum will swing all the way back in this country, and they will go to town because they are much more effective than we are as we sit around twiddling our thumbs, unable to do anything on the right in this country while we have power. Yeah, they're ready to go, dude. They're going to arrest people. They're going to throw people in jail. They're going to censor people. They're going to seize back the media. And all legally. Somehow it's all going to be legal. Somehow we're all going to be fucked by it. We'll get a couple of court cases that'll make us feel like we're winning. Right. But like there is some event coming. You cannot have this back and forth where the pendulum goes such a heavy swing every time we shift office. Eventually it's going to swing and snap, dude. And that's
I agree. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Healing, like a national healing without some sort of cataclysmic event. Something has to happen. Something has to trigger everybody to want to give up on being partisan and decide to come. Hey, shit! It could be aliens come in and invade. Hey, look, decide to unify against the aliens or join with it. In CT's perfect world, they're Vulcans and they come to save us.
I've said on the program many times before that it'll take something that galvanizes the species. Okay, and that is
That's all
usually
that's
the
left.
only thing that could do that is something that is natural. You know, some sort of extinction level event is the only thing that can do that.
I don't know that would do it anymore. Most
No,
people
a
think,
meteor,
no,
a
dude,
meteor. Hold on. A meteor the size of Texas that basically fries every electronic device globally would cause people to say, "Hey, I've got to eat." So yeah, yesterday I was a member of Al Sharpton's network, but today Dave is my neighbor and he knows how to farm. Okay, so all of that stuff would be reset. All this social
yeah,
bullshit
so you would have the
would be
cataclysm.
erased.
Yeah, okay. As long as you agree the cataclysm has to happen.
No, I
No,
said
yeah, we all
yeah.
agree. We
You
all
can't
agree on
avoid
that.
it anymore. They're not coming
Yeah.
together, man. People are invested heavily in their
Yeah. That
whole,
and
CT's
the fact
yo,
that
not nothing, not knocking your show. I love your show, CT, but your whole show is based on the fact that people are invested in their partisanship.
that and the fact that we are celebrating America's 250th birthday, and the average age of an empire
It's 250 years.
250 years. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I was getting at earlier. It's because the America that Gimpy and, we're talking about, right? Where America based on the shared values, right? And, God-given rights and the Constitution. I don't see how that can survive if everyone is so fractured. Will the country America exist? Yes, life will go on. But I think that, like, the idea that people have of America, like, it's going to fundamentally shift when the people on the left take charge and go to town. And I don't know if the America that Gimpy or that, CT or Cisco is talking about, I don't know if it can survive that. Like, that idea, that feeling, that sensation, that pride of being American. I don't know if it can survive.
Dude,
I could be wrong.
Live in the Federation.
Yeah. A lot of people have given up on that concept.
Dude, I would rather service equal citizenship. I'm sorry if I have to pick dystopic.
I agree with that.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Like the book, not the movie, man.
But we're so far away from that, We're so far away from that.
To be fair, that's just the futuristic version. We can have a modern day version of that in one bad week. One bad week, man. All we need is one general, like the old days. Like, lately I've been watching a lot of stuff on like Rome again, because I'm a big Rome history lover. And but I like how YouTube enables these people to simplify history into like these 30, like, it's fun to watch. And so I was watching one today, and you just think about how Rome became an empire, how Rome did. Very simply put, we can be within a short period of time a general who inspires tens of thousands of soldiers to support him. He can seize a swath of land and call it his own. They've been doing it for thousands of years. There's nothing stopping it from happening in this country right now. People are not going to resist the way people think. Everybody likes to believe that behind every blade of grass is, 3 guns. Most of the people are not going to be willing to risk their lives against fully armed soldiers with machine guns.
If you look back into like the origins of the United States of America, the minority, to your point, the minority of folk were willing to actually challenge the crown.
Yeah.
Most people weren't.
Most people like stability and order and like, okay, you're the new bosses. This is how it is. People are sheep. People are toast. 80% of people are no better than a toaster. Buy my shirt.
That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Real quick, Deborah, do I have dual citizenship? Yes, but not of Mongolia. I am a dual citizen of America because I was born there, and I'm a dual citizen of England because my father is from there. Would I get Mongolian citizenship? I don't know. If I did, I would have to dump one, and I would probably dump my UK citizenship because I haven't been there since, I was a teenager. It's not.
Why would you have to dump one of the citizenships?
Because to the best of my knowledge, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I've researched, to the best of my knowledge, one cannot hold triple citizenship and have it be recognized by the US and the UK.
Oh,
Okay.
I had no idea.
Currently, I'm under what's called the F1 residency, and that's like family because my wife is Mongolian.
Okay.
So this is it's similar to like how it is in America, right? Where you get married to an American, you get your residency, and I don't know if it's
Green
called an
card.
F America, but yeah, you get your green card basically. It allows you to live in the country for a year, and then you renew it over the course of time. And then after it's like I think in Mongolia it's 5 or 10 years, and I can apply for. I think it's 5 years is permanent residency,
Hmm.
and then 10 years is citizenship. But I don't know how that's going to play out yet because citizenship requires paying taxes and other things, and right now under my visa I am not taxed whatsoever
How
because
long?
my visa is family related. It is not work related. So I am not taxed.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You should keep
Interesting.
that then.
What'd you say, Gimpy?
You should keep the tax-free life.
Well, I mean, so like I believe once I hit permanent residency, I think then I have to pay taxes, right? I think I'd have to double check, but like if you become a citizen, yes, but there are still restrictions because I'm Garadhun, I'm a foreigner. So even though I can like vote and things, there are still things I can't. Like I can't, to the best of my knowledge, I can't own land because even though I'm a citizen, I'm a foreigner. I could only own 45% of
Mhm.
a business. I could get like land use rights where I pay for the use of land, but the ownership has to be in a Mongolian's name, is how I understand it.
Yeah, but you're married to Mongolian, so you got that covered.
Yep. And it's actually kind of fun for tax purposes and student loan purposes because I can route and I have routed all my like YouTube, my Google AdSense and everything under my wife's name. So she is not a US citizen, so she obviously is not taxed. According to US tax law, I make $0. And when it comes to like student loans, which I'm still hashing out because my deferment is expiring, in theory, I can get away with not paying it. And since I don't have anything in America or in my name, but
Gotcha.
I just looked this up. I didn't know Mongolia was 40% no religious. So is that atheist or atheism?
it's not atheism like in America. It's just no religious affiliation. So what that'll look like is 40% of the population does not believe in like God. They're not Catholic. They're not Christians. They
Right.
don't claim to be Buddhist. But many of them will still see a Buddhist monk. Many of them will still respect the traditions of their family, even if they don't necessarily claim, I am a Tibetan Buddhist.
Mm.
Let me ask you something. This might be edifying for the American audience. What would the Mongolian authorities do if someone violated their border?
I am scared to think about that. So this is what happened to me. I moved here, and when you come to Mongolia as an American, you can stay here 90 days visa free. Now, during the end of that 90 days, what's called the Nadam Festival, right? Which means that everything is closed. Like all the government, all the embassies, everything is closed. It's a massive national holiday. Everyone pours out in the street to celebrate. Well, here's the thing. Me and my wife thought, because I was talking with her and her family, we thought we could apply for like the marriage visa after Nottingham Festival. We were wrong. I had to pay, excuse me, I think I had to pay like a $300, $400 fine because we went there because I overstayed the visa, and they're like, here's what you have to do. You have to pay like a $300, $400 fine. You have to leave the country, and then you have to come back. And then you can apply. You have X amount of time to apply. I went to the embassy, and when this happened, there were armed guards with AK-203s.
Damn.
And told me I had 10 days to, after paying the fine, I have 10 days to leave the country. If I did not leave the country, they would show up at my house and make me leave the country, and I would be banned for 1 year. That was due to, now keep in mind, this is due to an accidental overstay of this is an accidental overstay. It happens, and they understand that. They're still very harsh about it. If someone were to violate their border, I honestly don't know what would happen, and I don't want to think about it based on my experience. It is not good, let me tell you. They're very, very harsh on it.
I bet.
And as for crime in Mongolia, crime looks very different. So there's obviously still crime here, but it's a lot less violent crime and more like pickpockets of tourists and stuff. Okay. When a murder happens or like someone even dies in like a motor accident, then that's like people like lose their mind, because it's like, it's not like America where people just get upset and then kill each other in the streets. Usually it's like a couple of years of animosity between people before someone snaps and that happens.
Okay.
There's, I would say, a lot of, well, not in my part of Ulaanbaatar, which is a capital, but in other parts, like people get drunk and, bar fights happen. But overall, the nature of the crime is much lower and much less extreme than the U.S. I have not heard of any home invasions. We don't have mass shootings here. We don't have mass stabbings here. We don't have school shootings here. And the reason for that is because culturally, saving face is important because you are a reflection of your family. And this has happened to me like a couple times, but some drunk guy, we're walking to the convenience store. Some drunk guy goes off, right? He's being drunk. We ignore him, because he looks like the bad person, because we're just minding our own business. But if a person were to suddenly snap and go after him, that person would be viewed as, oh, you can get under their skin very easy. He's volatile. She's volatile. They have no self-control.
Gotcha.
So that's why violent crime is a lot less pronounced here than the U.S.
So that takes us full circle, because I can imagine maybe there's a podcast of Mongolians sitting together and thinking, yeah, I wouldn't want to move to America because, people are violent and, you have home invasion, school shootings, the whole 9 yards.
My wife went to an American college, and I forget the name of it, but like she got through, she went through the legal process, got like an education visa, and was accepted, and did only a couple semesters at a U.S. college and came back. Okay. Will she visit America to see my family? Yes, because Asian culture in general, we are married. My family is now her family, and there's a level of respect there. She will visit them. She does not want to live there under any circumstances.
Wow.
Even if there's a global war and China invades UB, she does not want to live in the U.S., right? At least at this time, things could change. But at this time, from what we discussed, just given how, just to put it bluntly, crazy things get in America. Like, I mean, there was that guy who like set the woman on fire in like a train station or something. That is unheard of here. Like people don't do that. Like at all.
So we've been going for a little bit now. CT, come back, because last thoughts. I'm going to kill the show now at this point. We all know where we would and wouldn't live in Africa, and learned a lot about Mongolia today.
Yep.
I argue to say that the rate of alcoholism skyrockets compared to the population portion it represents in Mongolia, like all the other countries that live under the exact same systems. They might not have the crime that we're used to, but they also, because of the lack of freedom,
we have other problems. Don't get me wrong.
You have societal issues that make that hurt just as much in their own unique ways. But that being said, any final thoughts, CT?
kind of childish and petty. But I want to piggyback on the African topic just real quick, and I'm gonna be very honest here, man. And this is something that I've thought about ever since I've been a young man, which is a long time ago. One, food, and two, the beauty of the women. A lot of sub-Saharan African women, man, I've seen a lot of documentaries in Asia, right, about the cosmetic and the plastic surgery industry there. You gotta be attractive, man. And I think a lot of one of the Gibby, how come you don't hear about passport bros going to Africa? Think about it. I bet you if you flipped it, I bet if Africa became South America and South America became Africa overnight, the same population, passport bros would do everything possible to go across the Atlantic. There's a reason why. It's a beauty thing, man. You gotta combat it's hard to do it because this
men like hot chicks. Yes.
How would you do it in civilization? But a lot of those black ass countries, man, a lot of those women, they're walking around looking like me in the face, bro. I mean, you gotta improve your looks.
So are you saying that you're feminine or that you're very masculine in the face?
I'm saying that a woman shouldn't look like me in the face. And so there might need to be some plastic surgery is expensive, man, but there needs to be this push, man, because it's so bad in Africa, man. It's so bad because, again, the piggyback, the systems, the infrastructure, but it's the looks, man. And I know it's a little touchy subject with a lot of people. Tariq put me on blast about this years ago. Almost like 500,000 views, man, about that, because I said I was like, bro, Nigerian women aren't that attractive, and it just skyrocketed, man. It's the truth, man. Look at a place like Japan. Japanese women are very attractive, and I'm not saying that an African country would be like Japan, but there's a reason why some countries are in the position that they are and some aren't, man. Just saying, man. Just saying. Congolese women, it's a hit or a miss. But the question is, Gippy, if what I'm saying is true, why isn't Sudan? Why don't they have like a Wakanda in Sudan? Most Sudanese women are very attractive. So it kind of is an anomaly.
Only to you, buddy.
You say only to me?
Yeah, dude, of course.
Yeah,
it's on your panel, man.
Okay. Okay. Walk into any mall in America.
You're right.
One out of two models are
You're right. Gay men like to dress Sudanese women in the clothes they design. You're right. I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. How did I miss such an important detail? The gay men in America and Europe who design these clothes like to dress these Sudanese women. So you have the same flavor as the purple-haired girl who makes your coffee.
A cat could walk on any college campus in America, man. She looks better than 90% of the girls on the campus. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't believe it, huh? Okay.
Dude, we've had this conversation. White women scented bath water, man.
Yeah.
You know where I stand on this. But anyhow, Dave, you got any last words, bud?
At the end of the day, tying in what we just talked about Mongolia or like moving to Africa, I think at the end of the day, right, one really has to consider what morals and values that they have before moving anywhere, because many countries are very different. Mm-hmm. And I've been seeing a lot of videos of how some Americans, especially LGBTQ Americans, are running to the Netherlands. And they're being actually put in literal camps with like fences and stuff because they're applying for asylum and they're freaking out. They're like, oh my God, I didn't know I have to do this. Right. The grass is not always greener on the other side. And this is, ironically, I'm not a Christian, but I heard a pastor I respect say that if the grass looks greener on the other side, maybe it's time to water your own lawn. And I think that heavily applies because everyone, Like, I see so many liberal Americans like, I want to leave and I want to go to Japan. I want to go to China. I want to go to all these other countries. It's like, okay, there's desire to live. You know, you're not happy there. That's fine. But you can't run from your problems. And take it from a guy who literally moved overseas, right? Not only can you not run from your problems, you will encounter a new set of problems that you have to deal with, i.e., we have floods, not because of the terrain, but because the government decided that instead of having a full sewage system like America has, it's just a bunch of small pipes that like to burst in the winter, and then all of that gets piled up in specific areas like near the State Street Market, which you can look up, right? You will encounter new problems regardless where you go. Grass is not always greener on the other side. And if you don't like something about your life, maybe just try changing it.
Yeah, he's got a good point, because wherever you go, you're taking yourself with you. So a lot of people want to run from their problems, not understanding that they are the source of a lot of their own problems.
Let's go. Last words, thoughts.
Yeah, sure. Dave, is there McDonald's in Mongolia?
No, it is not. It is not considered real food, and the Burger King and KFC we have Burger King and KFC. They are heavily regulated, and they use real meat. It tastes completely different. McDonald's is not, to the best of my knowledge. McDonald's not only is not here, it is not allowed to be here.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, this will be something that you might have to indulge in when you get back to America, if you are so inclined. We were talking about food, and you know what? You know, we all have our vices, and I go to McDonald's once a month, man. And I usually get a Big Mac meal and a cheeseburger. And I sit in my car and I listen to talk radio or YouTube video, and I love it. It's my time. But I did something different this time. Instead of getting a Big Mac, I got the spicy chicken McCrispy.
That's
Now,
good.
it is delicious.
Very good.
I'm telling everybody about it. Now, I don't know if it's like the Popeyes chicken sandwich where people were getting killed over. And there are several people serving life sentences now over a damn chicken sandwich, okay? I don't know if it's that popular, but it's very tasty. So I just wanted to...
Well, it sounds like the difference between Popeyes and McDonald's is if you eat McDonald's, the McDonald's will kill you. If you eat Popeyes, someone else will kill you.
There you go.
That's pretty funny. That's
what it sounds like. You're dead either way. Just pick your poison.
Right. There you go.
Well,
that's my final thought.
Excellent. Fellas, it's been a good show.
Have a good one, guys.
All right, guys.
But
take it easy. Go ahead.
Only monkeys litter.
Yeah.
I'll catch you all next week.
All right, guys.
Good night, folks.